other people's money. So that was $500 million. And that was quite a bit for being in a state like Idaho at that time, an investment firm. And I managed about $500 million. And the reason why I chose to go into financial advising was because I really wanted to help people create their best life ever. And money, it was always the connecting piece to it. I couldn't digest food. I was financially devastated. My relationship ended. All of those things happened for me. And that was when the world of healing came in. By taking that good, hard, long look at yourself and having that awareness, it put me in a position of power to make those changes. And that's what I do for people.
Welcome to the world of Luxury Unplugged, where luxury meets spirituality. If you're passionate about entrepreneurship, creativity, and maintaining a sane mind, you have found your tribe. Now, Luxury Unplugged Podcast is a very unique podcast. It delves into the world of luxury living, seamlessly intertwining that with the spiritual mindset and the journey. Sounds interesting, huh? So, our show explores how individuals can find harmony, purpose, and meaning in the pursuit of a luxurious life. I'm Neeti Keswani, author of best-selling book Live Your Dreams and your host for Luxury Unplugged. And today we are diving down on the concept of being a mind whisperer. We have with us Donna Campbell. She is the mind whisperer and she's a renowned healer, speaker, and a best-selling author as well. And she has dedicated her life over 25 years in this area. She has helped many, many individuals unlocking their true potential through her work. And she has shared platforms with luminaries like Dr. Joe Vitale, my personal favorite, and notable figures as Bill Walsh, Mark Victor Hansen, and Sharon Lecter. She has also been featured on many television shows. So let's get started. Welcome, Donna.
Hi, and thank you so much for having me here with you today. I am so excited.
Same here. We've got so many questions and so many things regarding holistic wellness and meditations and how can healing happen for people. And I think that you're the perfect guest for that.
Yes. So my first career, I was a financial advisor and a managing principal of an investment firm. And I managed about $500 million of other people's money. So that was $500 million. And that was quite a bit for being in a state like Idaho at that time. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's get started with your background, Donna. You can share a bit about your journey, like how do you really, blend your background in the financial advising with the holistic living now and the mind whispering aspect?
Yes. So my first career, I was a financial advisor and a managing principal of an investment firm. And I managed about $500 million of other people's money. So that was $500 million. And that was quite a bit for being in a state like Idaho at that time. And the reason why I chose to go into financial advising was because I really wanted to help people create their best life ever. And money, it was always the connecting piece to it. But after a decade, I realized my clients weren't necessarily better off because there was all of these other subjective markers like the stock market and mutual funds and managers and did they really save or did they have more debt that were preventing them, stopping them, blocking them from having the life that they truly wanted to live. So through my own journey, I couldn't digest food. I was financially devastated. My relationship ended. All of those things happened for me. And that was when the world of healing came in because you are your own first client. So today what I do is I put people through an alignment process because there's an energetic side to healing. So when we think things like I'm rich and abundant, you actually feel it inside. And then you get results 100% of the time because you are aligned in heart, mind, body, and soul.
That's so wonderful and intriguing as well. So I just have a question from the background that you just told. From your work in financial advising, did you get the stress and the anxiety, and that was the cause of your, slight the kind of setbacks that you had? Was that the
Yeah,
reason? So is it
that
the
was, yeah.
anxiety and the overwhelmment and the tension and the worries that are the real cause? Um,
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. Because I had four offices in three different states. So I was always on the road traveling to all the other offices, plus starting my own family. So I had small children. And it was the stress, the worry, the pressure. I remember coming home, the phone would ring at my house, and I would answer it as if I was still working at the office. And all of those things are emotions and frequencies that we don't need to live in. But I didn't know that I was in the stress, the worry, the pressure, the anger. I thought it was normal. And when I couldn't digest food, I learned that there was something in the outside of my life I couldn't digest. And I didn't know what it was. It eventually surfaced when I started working with a naturopathic doctor who told me, because you're not digesting on the inside, there's something in the outside world you can't digest. And so when that surfaced, yeah, I could not digest that. And so by taking that good, hard, long look at yourself
mhm.
and having that awareness, it put me in a position of power to make those changes. And that's what I do for people today.
Wow. So, when you talk about the aspect of being the mind whisperer, and
Yeah.
you have also mentioned feeling whatever is inside that will 100% manifest outside. How do you
Mhm.
correlate the mind and the heart?
Yeah, they work together. So we have what we're consciously aware of. It's only maybe 10% of our reality. And that was because they measured Albert Einstein's brain. That was his conscious reality. So the other 90% is in the subconscious. But we don't know necessarily what's there. We just know how it feels. So
Mm,
we'll think thoughts, like I said, I'm rich and abundant, and we'll hold that thought on a conscious level. But deep in the heart, what then happens is you feel things like, who am I? Imposter syndrome. You might have anger, disbelief, doubt that you're not rich or abundant, which is all aspects of your life, that you're not worthy to like live a luxury life.
mhm.
And that's the energy, the frequency that goes out and magnetically attracts back to you. Not what you're thinking, it's what you're feeling. So when we uncover where that subconscious pattern started, we can reprogram that piece to a different frequency, to a different feeling, to a different emotion. And when we do, and when we think thoughts, I'm rich and abundant, I have a luxurious lifestyle, that's what automatically comes back to you. So
Right,
that's how it's all interconnected.
right. So in terms of, I believe that you've worked a lot with the entrepreneurs, people who are starting out and who are in the business but are facing similar situations like you, like yourself in the former life of anxiety and stress and tensions. So when you help them, do you help them to calm that anxiety or to completely erase that from the system? Do you have a process for that? And what kind of advice do you have for, entrepreneurs who are starting out or who are in the middle of that and trying to work it out on the outside as well as inside?
Well, it doesn't matter if you're brand new or going, or you've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, or you're a business owner, or you are a professional, the process is always the same. So it's four basic steps. First, we have to discover what is really going on,
Mm-hmm,
and we have to identify the emotion and the belief that it associates to. So generally what I do is I have a format that I ask different questions through to, one, really understand what that feeling is, where it's located at in the body, because there's cellular memory, and then when was the first time you remember feeling that? And sometimes it takes a little while to go back, because most of the time our subconscious patterns start from the time we're born, and they're pretty well anchored by about age 9. So we're going back to childhood, to the one of the first times you can remember. And then what we do from there is we can release that emotion and transform it to something higher. So I call it DIRRT, because we want to discover, creating the awareness, identify, release, and transform. And once we do that, say it's anxiety, we know where anxiety is at in our body. We can go back to an early memory. We don't relive the memory, we reprogram the memory to a higher frequency using universal laws. And then the next thing you know, you have no anxiety because we reprogrammed it. And anxiety has a certain frequency that it would go to. And because we reprogrammed higher, the frequency doesn't have anything to connect to, so it doesn't exist. Now, some things are multifaceted and multi-layered, so you might have to peel back a couple of times, but within 30 days, 45 days, you should have the result of anxiety doesn't exist in your life anymore.
Wonderful. And do you think that the process of Ho'oponopono helps in this?
Of course, it does, because there's frequencies in the words that you say. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. All of those. And if you really firmly believe and have the intention within the words that you're saying, yes, healing happens. I've seen it way too many times not to believe that.
Wonderful. Actually, there are so many instances amongst the people that we work with also that we have gone through certain Ho'oponopono processes and we've seen tremendous results in terms of health, in terms of mindset changing, and then obviously the financial aspects also change. But do you have some kind of amazing success story in such case where maybe whatever processes you're using, you're able to heal somebody and put them on the road to victory?
Yes, there are several different stories. I think of one client in particular. She had breast cancer for a second time, didn't want to go through the conventional medicine route that she had done before, and
Mhm.
had reached out. I spent about 3 months working with her on a weekly basis. And when I remember the day that I visually imagined and saw in my brain the cancer leaving. So she ended up going back to her doctor, re-verifying, and the cancer was gone out of the body. And then 6 months later, she had to go back. You go through another round of testing. She tried to recreate it, but we got it stopped because our beliefs sometimes are so strong. And so she is now let's see, it's been 8 years now, doctor verified she is still breast cancer free. And I don't know if you know, but to really be classified as breast cancer free or cancer free, you have to go 5 years with it completely gone,
I don't know.
remission,
Yeah.
or not there at all. So
Wow.
once you get past that, you are then get declared
Mm-hmm.
cancer free. So cancer resonates a lot to the energy of resentment. So we spent a lot of time clearing out the resentments she had in her life. And because of that, she's now living the life of her dreams. She built a house on some property. She has a mini goat farm, and she
Mm-hmm.
has some donkeys, and she paints pictures of dogs as she did dog training. She's doing all the things she didn't think she got to do because she was programmed that the cancer was going to kill her and
Right.
she was going to die. And we reformatted that. And now she's living her best life.
Wow. Um, so in terms of just putting this to the next aspect of my question about vibration and frequency. So do you think that vibration and frequency had a role to play in the breast cancer that she got? I mean, it
Yeah.
was it related to her feelings, her thoughts, which actually got her that kind of disease, and then finally, because she changed, transformed herself, she was able to come out of it.
Yes, absolutely. I think Nikola Tesla said it best. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of vibration, frequency, and energy. And that's exactly what we are. We're electromagnetic beings. We are energy, frequency, and vibration. So when you hold thoughts that are fueled by the energy of anger or resentment, you vibrate pretty low down here. Guilt, doubt, sadness, they all have an emotional scale. And actually, there's a book called Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins that talks about the different frequencies and vibrations of these emotions. On the other end of the spectrum, we have our higher emotions like happiness and peace and love and joy and kindness and goodness and authenticity. And so when we're down here in a lower frequency, we will attract the physical level dis-ease to what that is. But if we raise the frequency, and especially on a permanent scale, and we're up here, we're at, say, 500 instead of 100, you're not going to have that resentment. You're going to be in a different emotional state. And it's permanent because of how the brain works with the neuron pathways and how it gets reprogrammed. So, yes, big yes.
Right.
It all interconnects.
Right. So, as you have seen, our discussion with Donna has helped us understand how one can navigate in the terms of internal healing, in terms of transformations that can happen when we think and work on our feelings, our thoughts, our belief systems. We have also, in this podcast, talked about the various actionable steps that one can take to start reprogramming our mindset so that the subconscious mind is in tune with the conscious mind, and how we can have a daily practice and consistency in achieving lasting change in ourselves, and therefore we are on the path to victory. It is about having that daily practice, it is about healing the internal subconscious so that we are able to be on that path of victory, not tomorrow, not someday, but today. The final piece of advice that I have through this podcast for my viewers is that we all can have an abundant, happy life. It is about going inward first and then looking out what we are searching for in the outside. If you resonate with this message, then keep tuning in, like and subscribe to our podcast. Until next time, stay tuned to Luxury Unplugged, where luxury meets spirituality.